All right. Watch party is going, baby. Let's get all our socials out. At least they have music on this one, because the Nightwire didn't have any music leading up to the stream. Why do you feel compelled to do that, Lucas? So I'm sure some of you saw, as you were waiting for me to sit down, Lucas was sitting in my chair, and he likes to chew cables and stuff. So I gave him one of my old mice this morning, just as he sat down, and he just shredded the cable. He's such a funny cat, man. He's very upset this morning because he's back in his he's got a bandage on his foot again. We're not sure what's going on. He cut his foot up pretty bad. Not like bad, but bad enough that we had to bandage it for like a week because it was getting infected, and put him on a round of antibiotics. And Chris noticed yesterday he'd been out of the bandage for like a week, off his antibiotics for about 5 days, and noticed yesterday that he got like a different part of it was open and starting to stink again, so we had to get him all bandaged up. He's being a really good boy though. But he's down here. He loves to chew on stuff, so I have to be super careful of him when we're sitting here together. All right, why is this not showing on the screen unless I'm actually tabbed onto it? So am I not allowed to be tabbed away from this screen? We're going to sort this out real quick. I guess it won't matter once we're actually on it. You just stay here, buddy. You want to chew on that cardboard? He's like, no, I want to chew on the cable's dead. Six minutes to go, and I need to find my phone. Kahina says, just buying the game now, so glad I waited half price. Full game with expansion about $60. Yeah, I don't remember what I paid for the full, but I bought like the combo deal for the Xbox like maybe, I don't know, 3 months ago. It was like 40 or 50. It might have been $60. I don't think it was 60. I feel like it was 40. I could be wrong. It might have been 60 for the two. What's up, Kieran? We're ready to go, everybody. As soon as the update hits. By the way, somebody shared a tweet out from one of the developers. Supposedly, the 2.0 update is going live right after this, between 5 and 6 p.m. their time, which is going to be between 9 and 10 my time, Central Time. Or hang on, 9 and 10 Eastern. Sorry, whatever. So apparently right after this is when the update is going to go live. So as soon as the update is available, I'm going to download it to my Xbox. As soon as it's up and going, I will be starting a live stream today, and I'll be streaming for a few hours. So we're kicking off about a week of non-stop Cyberpunk streams. I don't think we'll be streaming any Baldur's Gate or Starfield for the next week or so. From here until the launch of Phantom Liberty, it's going to be only Cyberpunk streams. We'll be continuing our Baldur's Gate 3 and Starfield videos. I've already got videos scheduled out until Sunday evening, so we've already got the next 4 or 5 days of content already covered. And then we're just going to be keeping a rotation going. Baldur's Gate 3, Starfield, Cyberpunk, playthroughs, videos, quick tips, Q&A with the YouTube comments. All the same stuff we've been doing for the last few months with the other games, we're going to be doing with Cyberpunk 2077. Doing a Netrunner stealth build. We're going to be doing a full playthrough of the game, along with the Phantom Liberty DLC. And that kicks off today as soon as the update is available. You gonna calm down, Lucas? Or are you gonna go chew more cables? I don't know why you like to chew cables, Lucas. Alright, that's enough, buddy. You're gonna get wire in your mouth. Come here. There you go. You can chew cardboard. Oh, now you're gonna bite me. Grumpy kitty cat. You're just mad because you got a bandage on. I know. Want to chew on the hat? Here you go. I have no idea what they're covering today. I'm assuming it's about Phantom Liberty and the 2.0 update, because the 2.0 update drops today and Phantom Liberty drops in a week. But the title of this Redstream literally says Phantom Liberty Update 2.0 Overview, so that would be the answer to your question. Good morning, Night City! Alright, let's go ahead and maximize this. Get rid of all that chat bullshit. Because the only chat that matters is my chat at this point. Like, subscribe, hit the bell icon so you never miss an update, everybody. Join as a member to support the channel and get access to member-only perks, member-only videos, and member-only live streams. Super Chat, if you don't want to do it that way, you can do it that way. You can donate with Super Chats on any live stream or premiere, Super Thanks on any upload or YouTube. Don't forget to check out the Discord, all the other playlists, because we do a lot of different shit on this channel. Not just Cyberpunk. We do Baldur's Gate 3. We do Starfield. We do film reviews. We do TV show reviews. We do podcasts from Middle-earth and Dune. Tabletop. All sorts of fun shit. Make sure you follow along. It's the Mac update.
Hello and welcome
Kahina.
to another episode of the Redstream. My name is Amelia and I will be your host today, together with my partner in crime, Alicia Kozera.
Hey guys!
And we have two amazing new guests, so please give a warm welcome to Philippe Dovnar gameplay lead designer.
Hi.
And Rafał Obremski, sorry, I have to read that title, gameplay designer and gameplay design coordinator.
Hello.
Very long title.
Yeah, whenever someone asks, I just say that I make games. That's my...
Make simple.
Just like all of us.
Exactly.
Okay, guys, so a couple of weeks ago, we met you for the first Redstream about Update 2.0 and Phantom Liberty.
I had to turn the volume up. Sorry,
and we
guys.
told you some more about Dogtown, some of the characters.
I didn't realize the
coming with
Twitch volume was so
expansion.
low.
We talked about car combat, new reworked perks and attributes, as well as the Relic skill tree from Phantom Liberty. And we also went over the revamped police system. And today we have even more changes and new features to go through. So we will start with airdrops, a new open world activity from Phantom Liberty. Then we will go through combat AI enhancements. We will also go through cyberware changes,
Hell yeah.
planning changes, balance and economy changes,
Yeah.
UI changes.
I could dig
so,
it.
you know, there's a lot of changes to go through.
Sorry.
You will probably be able to download the update before we finish the stream. It will be available from 5 p.m. CEST today.
That's about an hour from
And
now.
if you are wondering how much space you need, let me help you with that. So
I'm
for
going to get my
PlayStation
Xbox.
5,
I'll
you're
open
gonna
my
need
Xbox in
38
about 30
gigabytes
minutes
of
and we'll
space.
check.
For Xbox, you're going to need around 52 gigabytes of space. And for PC, around 33 gigabytes of space. So hopefully after the stream, you will be able to jump right into Update 2.0 in
Yep.
Cyberpunk 2077.
That is my plan, everybody.
Unfortunately, today we are not with you live, but we will hold a Q&A session at the very end with questions that we gathered from our Discord and our forums asked by you. So the Update 2.0 will be available after the stream. Let's jump in.
Yeah, so, you know, guys, gameplay overhaul, philosophy behind 2.0. Can you tell us more about that?
Sure. First and foremost, it's called 2.0 for a reason. I don't think we left any stone unturned in terms of gameplay. We did a great overhaul over almost all of our systems. So the philosophy behind it, the main thing we had in mind while working on it, you know, we are CD Projekt Red, we are storytellers. And we are telling the stories not only in narrative part of the game, but also in gameplay. And in gameplay, it's up to the player to decide how the story looks exactly, what kind of character they are, what kind of play style they are using, and all of this we wanted to be actually made consciously by player. All of the decisions in regards to the character they are.
Yeah, it's all really about the RPG element, role-playing of the whole thing. We wanted the builds and the cyberware to be more immersive, for the players to represent themselves more through those. The builds are more distinctive. Your choice when it comes to cyberware is also much bigger and richer. So it was really all about just giving this freedom of actually being able who I want to be in this world, while you know, having this glorious
More
adventure.
options are always better.
Sounds good. Sounds good. I can't wait to, you know, see what our players think of the update. So, you know, let's just start with what Alice already mentioned. So let's go to airdrops. What can we say about
Airdrops! This sounds
the
so
most
cool.
important thing, they're super awesome. We love airdrops. And basically, airdrops are a new open world activity, and that happens only in the Dogtown area.
Only in
You
Dogtown.
will not see this on a minimap, but it's quite hard to miss. You will hear the AV dropping the big package on the Dogtown area.
Flying over the district.
Exactly, and there are flares that will guide you where they are. Getting to airdrop itself, it's a little bit challenging. We wanted for it to be not only the challenge in terms of the encounter that happens there, but also sometimes it is quite challenging to get to the location itself.
Or
But
even how to approach it from which side.
exactly,
That's very cool.
yeah, it's also, you can maybe try stealth approach or something like this.
That's
but,
cool.
As I mentioned, the combat is also a little bit challenging there, sometimes even quite challenging, I would say, because the loot there is also something that we wanted to be worth it. The airdrops, important thing to mention, they are an endless loop of combat and loot, so you can do them forever, but that does not necessarily mean that the combat is the same for every encounter. It very much differs, so we can try it out, play around, try different.
God, the
airdrops
combat
and
looks
see how they
so
change.
much smoother.
'Cause yeah, as I mentioned, they are awesome, right? So
Yeah, we have like multiple spots. Those spots have like different versions of those encounters, and it's also really cool.
Look at that, he's targeting different parts of the body too.
Them, you'll be leveling up, and your possibilities, your abilities to approach
Like he
them
was
will
shooting the
also be
guy's
different.
knees.
So even when you come back to get the airdrop, how you tackle it can be different depending on how your playstyle has evolved.
All right, sounds good. And you mentioned that it will be challenging. So
Headshot.
I assume there are like various guards of this airdrop of the loot, right? Can we maybe talk about the changes to the AI and to the combat enhancement that we did in 2.0?
That looked pretty sick, guys.
For 2.0, we focused in terms of AI itself. We didn't want to reinvent the wheel. We focused rather on building on top of what we already had. But that being said, we did quite a lot. We especially in stealth. So, for example, if you try to approach this airdrop in stealth, as we mentioned, you probably would notice that having a silenced pistol, the enemy you could probably see a situation in which the enemy does not hear the gunshot because of the silenced weapon. But the fact that they will see the bullet will start. They will start investigating. Hey, there's a bullet here. Like, probably, guys, we are in danger. Maybe let's start investigating where this bullet came from. And their search behaviors also changed. They will be a little bit more.
Look at how it now
challenging
shows.
manner.
It shows if
with
something is
our,
traceable or not.
changes
I
to
don't remember
stealth,
that
we
from the
also
base
wanted
game,
for
but
AI
it's been a
to
few years
catch
since
up
I've
a little
played.
bit.
So
They can extrapolate the bullet trajectory and like know where the bullet is coming from to like influence their search behavior and patterns. It's just more realistic and believable.
Exactly.
Smart.
Yes. In terms of AI, we also focused on changing some of the archetypes we already had in the game, but they are now so different that we could probably call them distinctive and different or new. So we focused really a lot on changing the Netrunner in terms of AI, and that's an awesome change because that was one I was personally waiting for after playing the game. And from now on, Netrunner will no longer only try to damage you. It's a huge change because from now on, we wanted enemy Netrunners to be more in like live inside of the Cyberpunk world, because Netrunners in Cyberpunk are those a little bit more smart personalities. So from 2.0 in AI, Netrunner will try to, for example, upload a cyber malfunction on you, maybe weapon jam.
Restart optic.
Yes, blind hack, and in some critical situations, they will also try
you
to
can make
upload,
that vehicle self-destruct, but he's out of
collapse on
points
you,
right now. That's
which
really
is,
cool.
yeah, if you don't.
This one you don't want to have.
Yes, let's just say that. So if you see system collapse, you should probably try to interrupt it, because this stays the same. You can always interrupt it.
The coolest thing about this is not even that they became smarter. That too. But first and foremost, the way it changes how you approach combat at the very moment, because as Rafał mentioned, we have numerous different quick hacks, which are very different, and they affect you differently depending on what type of playstyle you prefer and in what kind of situation you are. If you're vulnerable, then restart optics is something different than when you're safe and hidden. So you have to be on your toes, think about your surroundings, and depending on the situation, make those small decisions like, should I go after the Netrunner or continue what I was doing and like take it straight on.
But
Exactly.
as a player, we can also defend against Netrunners,
Absolutely.
right? We can have our own eyes that it won't allow them to hack us.
Yes, we even have
Counter
like
hacking.
Cyberware that is negating those quick hacks from time to time on cooldown. If you feel like it's a problem, then there's the Cyberware to help you with this.
Yes, exactly. Plus, some things stay the same. For example, Netrunners will still try to use proxies as their bodies to hack you through them, so you don't always have to find
Yeah,
the
exactly,
Netrunner,
dude. Some dude, because I
themselves,
played it 3 years
but
ago. I remember the
maybe try
main
to find a
story
proxy.
beats, but
Other
outside of
archetype
that,
we work quite a lot in general is the elite archetype. From now on, you will see them on the battlefield a little bit more clearly because they have skulls, red skulls above their head. Yeah, that's something.
Clear.
Yeah, exactly. Something we in general worked on quite a lot from 2.0 to make you really aware who you're fighting. So not only elites will have distinctive UI on them, other rare enemies, for example, will have a different health bar. Two chunks. Elites will have 3 chunks. You will be able to spot it.
I like how they call it chunks.
Easily. And elites themselves are really revamped and kind of tougher versions of the enemy. They change quite a lot in terms of who should you target, how your playstyle actually is affected by them being on the battlefield. Because probably you could try to play into more of a person that focuses on crowd control and damaging a lot of different enemies at one time. But the fact that elites are a thing that there's a singular enemy that is a little bit tougher makes you rethink your playstyle. Maybe I want to have something that will allow me to focus on a singular target as well. Or not, it depends on you.
Yeah, like whether crowd control is your thing and you want to control the elite or you just want to burst it down, that's also a possibility. It really depends on how you play. Another thing regarding the AI itself is that it's much more, I would say, adaptable to how you play.
That's really cool. Also, the first time I went through the game, I play every game the first time on easy mode, on story mode.
They will react if you
I'm looking forward to playing this on like the normal base difficulty this time around, because I've already played the base game. I understand kind of the mechanics, everything else. Obviously, everything's changed for this.
It's also like a big change to how you play.
But I can't wait to see what they're talking about here with the AI is more reactive now,
even on top of
smarter,
you could probably
more abilities overall. It's gonna be a blast.
And try to maybe
matter of fact, I need to open up my
with grenades and stuff.
Xbox.
They really got
they
good
said
at this.
And now,
in like 45
actually,
minutes after the stream,
we
but I'm gonna go ahead and
also
check
quite
now
a lot.
just to see if it's up.
The rule of thumb we took in regards of this is the higher difficulty you're playing on, the more player-like enemies will feel. So, for example, on hard and very hard difficulty, they will have a little bit more verbs that are similar to what player can do. They will throw more grenades. They will even heal themselves more often. As I mentioned, the Netrunner will also adapt to your difficulty level. The higher it is, the quicker the hacks he applies will be, and stuff like this. We really focused on this, building this world that adapts. If you are progressing your player, you have new abilities and new verbs to you. We wanted the difficulty to be kind of something for AI to maybe simulate something similar.
It's generally how we approach the game difficulties in general. We try to make it more about engagement and like how much stuff happens that player has to take into consideration and how important the effect of each of those action verbs is at current moment. Sure, there are like stats changes as well, as they have to be, but it's not about this. It's rather background, and on the forefront, it's about the composition of the NPCs and like their abilities and how active they are with using the abilities they have, because they have those abilities. Almost all of them they have across all the game difficulties. It's just they are much more proactive with them on higher game difficulties.
Okay, that makes sense. That's a traditional AI scaling.
NPCs, AI will adjust their behavior to see what we are doing. But what about, like, I would like us to go more into the stealth gameplay that we are introducing into.
I'm so happy because I am playing a
Netrunner
Netrunner stealth build. It's
will
gonna be great.
behave differently in regards to your stealth approach, but the stealth approach from the player's perspective changed vastly.
Kahina dropping a super chat. Thank you very much for the support, Kahina. Says, I knew that, but I was hoping there might be more to it. Cheers to you. Oh, you're talking about the Baldur's Gate 3 patch 3? There might be more to it. I don't know.
In third person, so
the only thing I know is Sven tweeted something this morning about
but this allows for
patch 3 is in Q&A today, getting pushed back till tomorrow.
And even
so
it's a cool decision-making thing, because
I'll keep an eye out, and if there's something to it more than the Mac build launching, then I'll definitely cover the news.
Sprint in crouch freely. So
some dude says this update's looking hot.
When
It
to do
is.
What your stamina is going to be, what will be like your how you'll act later on with the stamina that you have.
I got my
so there are a
Amazon
lot of
package
those like
coming
cool
today
little
too.
decisions that you have to make, and it's much more fun.
Yeah. Another thing is the stealth netrunning loop we added. In general, we
Yes, stealth,
worked a lot on
please.
Netrunner in the game. From
Stealth
2.0,
for my
but
Netrunner, please.
from now on, you will also have this new gameplay in regards to your stealth approach. There's a new system trace functionality that we added. Basically, it's like maybe role-playing a little bit, fighting Netrunner with Netrunner, that someone tries to stop you.
Or some kind of system.
Or some kind of system that will track that hey, there's a Netrunner trying to kill our guys. Maybe I'll try to trace him. Obviously, it's also in encounters that do not have Netrunner in them. It's just our fantasy about it. But there's this thing that you will have to progress towards not being spotted while hacking people.
Yeah,
that's so cool.
Think about, because not all quick hacks are traceable. And quick hacks are also traceable in like different on different level. Some are like extremely aggressive and like easy to spot, which makes the system Netrunner to spot the player easier. And what do we mean by spot? Basically, your position will be revealed to all the encounter, and they'll know where you are.
Yeah, there's a lot of good games out right
now to get you. So a player right now has to think like, okay, what do I value more? Do I want to make this aggressive push, get out, take one or two enemies with me because it's a good opportunity? I cannot go around them using regular stealth, or whether it's better to stay low and basically use my potential to the fullest while being hidden, and only then release the full potential of the playstyle.
Yeah. Another thing in stealth we changed is, in general, in Phantom Liberty, being this espionage, we wanted to add a lot more to the gunplay in terms of stealth. So there are a lot more silenced weapons play styles.
Yeah,
and there are some
baby!
combinations that
It's good
weren't
to hear.
possible before. For example, from now on, you'll be able to have a tech silenced weapon or smart silenced weapon.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Yes.
thank you
Yes.
so
It
much.
sounds crazy.
That was one of the
Yeah,
things
yeah.
in the
So
first
you can
playthrough.
totally
I
go
played a
for,
stealth-based
fully
character, but
stealth,
I used a
gameplay,
tech weapon because of the
type.
ammo tracking, because I could track the targets.
Weapons in
So
general,
they could
we
be over
we
here,
work
and I'd
quite
have
a
them
lot,
locked
but,
on, and the
sticking
bullets
to
would
stealth,
follow the mob. But
we
they
also
weren't
added
silenced.
a
So having
super
tech
cool,
weapons and smart weapons that
optical
are
camo
also
abilities
silenced.
in Relic tree.
So cool.
So this one
So
is
cool.
obviously Phantom Liberty exclusive, but there's a perk that will slow down time when you approach, like when you start being spotted using optical camo.
Yeah. Or even get you out of combat
Yeah.
once it already started, which is cool. And we also have like a very cool cyberware that can do crazy stuff, but we cannot reveal it due to the story. But
Yes.
look
This one, yeah.
Yeah, look for it because it's really amazing.
Okay, so we're super excited to check out the new stealth loop, especially with the spy thriller vibes of expansion. It's gonna fit in right there. But while we were on the topic of AI, we actually have some questions from our community about that. So maybe let's jump into those. The first question is: has the density of NPCs and the intelligence of NPC AI improved throughout
Hang on,
the
guys.
entire
I'm
map, or
doing
is it
something
only
really
inside
quick
Dogtown?
here.
Obviously,
Just
every
trying to
change
open up
to
my
AI
Xbox here.
we made for the whole Night City. Every AI-controlled enemy will be revamped.
It's absolutely systemic.
Absolutely systemic. But that being said, obviously for Phantom Liberty, there are some custom encounters, for example, with bosses, and they are, as I call them, a little bit more custom. So for those to experience, you will have to have Phantom Liberty installed. But trust me, they're also super awesome. So I really encourage you to try them out, because we also focused on bosses.
But those are, it's not like we have like some kind of Phantom Liberty specific systems for it. It's just the encounters that we have there use whatever we have slightly differently.
Okay.
Yeah. Plus, there's
right.
Bargus, obviously.
Had to open up
as
my,
Very militaristic faction.
Yeah, as faction that is only in Dogtown, although stuff like Max Tech will happen everywhere in the map. So
Okay. And
Max Tech is gonna be
the
awesome.
NPCs will be
I love the
smarter
updates to Max
throughout
Tech.
the
Yes.
entire Night City in general.
Yeah.
Awesome. Another question that we have from our community is: are there going to be crazy drivers who don't work along normal driving AI?
I hope
Yeah.
so.
We'll have not only like it's really hard to define like what do you call crazy driver, because for instance in Night
I am
City.
crazy.
I'll show
I'm
you
crazy
my
driver.
cam from my car. I'll show you exactly
Okay.
who are crazy drivers.
if you think like in Night City, in this world, which is like extremely visceral, brutal, where those gunfights can happen on every street corner, people are like scared, you know. They will try to drive away. They will try to avoid whatever obstacle is there. They will basically try to get away from danger as they drive, and it's gonna also happen like systemically. On its own, and the cool thing about it is that often while they're like panicking and trying to get away from the bullets, they may cause traffic accidents themselves and increase on the havoc. They can even drive over the policeman, for instance, and be chased themselves. You will see gang members fighting themselves or running away from the police, and while doing this, they don't care.
Is it actually out yet, Oxlorn? I just checked my Xbox. I didn't see the update yet. They said around 5 p.m. their time, which is about 45 minutes from now, 40 minutes from now. I think they said after this stream is when the update should be available.
Exactly, and just one mention here that those car chases situations are fully systemic, fully AI-driven. Nothing is.
Yes, I will be Oxlorn. As soon as I get my as soon as my Xbox updates, I will be starting a live stream.
Maybe
so,
just observe
however long it takes my internet to download the
but there are some
update.
cool moments with this as well. Like for example,
Probably within a couple
I
hours
believe,
after
I
this
watched
stream
your
is over,
playthrough recently
I will
that
have my
there was a
Cyberpunk
situation in which,
2077 playthrough kicking off.
You caused the
And
gang
we'll be
member
doing
to be chased by
exclusive
police, like, on purpose,
Cyberpunk
kinda, or
2077 streams for the next 5
trying to get away from the
days.
police, and it was in Dogtown, which is quite crowded, and I was trying to find a spot to lose the police. And it so happened that the only corner I could find was like very close to a very small like gang. Nothing major. They were just, you know, hanging out, doing their daily stuff. And I was hiding them. And basically they didn't have any beef with me. So they basically didn't care that I was around. But it turned out that when the police came to basically investigate the last place they saw me, it turned out that they didn't really like each other. They started fighting, and I basically would just walk away and, you know, enjoy the fight because they didn't care anymore because they were basically fighting for their lives. And that's how I
have an answer to you, some dude, and I'm gonna go pull up a video, which is gonna blank this out for just a second.
Okay, that's also
Just a second.
yeah, oh, definitely.
Crazy drivers, obviously. There's also a system overhaul of the car system in general, car combat, but also car.
For some reason, it kills it when I minimize away from the window, but I wanted to show you something here real quick.
They will also, try to like maybe panic a little bit, try to steer it. Similar to probably.
Also, if you like use quick hacks on them, they also don't know how to react. They often.
All right, I just dropped a link in the chat for you.
It looks supernatural.
Some dude.
And it creates those.
That was the tweet that Cyberpunk put out this morning.
That you can enjoy.
But you can watch my quick little 3-minute video on it, explaining where exactly Phantom Liberty falls in the storyline of Cyberpunk 2077. It's not an in-game DLC.
Let's sum up very quickly. So we're gonna have new activities in the open world, the airdrops in Phantom Liberty. We revamped the combat AI a lot, so we're gonna have weaker enemies, we're gonna have stronger elites. There's also been some changes to both Netrunner playstyles for NPCs, but also for the stealth loop for the player. And we are gonna see some crazy drivers in Night City.
Oh, absolutely.
Oxlorn said, I missed the beginning. Any big reveals? Just the normal hype? Yeah, the airdrops. They revealed the airdrops, which are pretty cool.
We actually showed to our players the
They didn't show the new stealth mechanics, but they also revealed that they now have stealth weapons for smart weapons and tech runners. Tech weapons and smart weapons have stealth suppressors
but what can
now.
actually our players expect in terms
So
of
a couple of reveals, Oxlorn.
First and foremost, the biggest change in Netrunning, and we really focused on this one, is the fact that the intelligence perk tree is from now on fully self-synergized, and you are really able to dive deeply into the playstyle of a Netrunner and really play with this fantasy. And the main thing that changed there is the fact that we moved smart weapons to the intelligence perk tree plus some other perks that will allow you to actively regain your RAM. So from now on, you don't really have to wait for it to regenerate. You can actually,
this is cool. So now we have quick hacks which will regain us memory rather than waiting.
Or maybe switch to your monowire, and then once you have your RAM back, you start hacking again, and it is more of a you have more choice to actively regain it.
But there's still the passive regeneration of RAM.
Kahina says, I think
there's
unless you rush, you'll
definitely
probably play normal
regeneration,
2.5 till DLC. Oh,
and
yeah.
It's really much more
The
about,
Phantom
like,
Liberty
the
story
flow, the
is
rhythm
like
of
in the
how you,
middle of
pick up and
Cyberpunk
how you regain it,
2077.
so you
So
have more,
you've probably got
more impact on it.
minimum
You
50,
can
60
influence,
hours if you're just playing the
drastically
game
how
before you
much
get to
RAM is
Dogtown and
regenerated.
stuff.
However, there are still plenty of options to like do it passively, and like there's always the Cyberware, who at basically at all times is trying to be there. If you think that something is missing from your build, Cyberware will probably like handle it and help you out. And this is
yeah, the
it's
videos,
very
the
nice,
tweet
like,
that
pleasant
CD
change,
Projekt Red made
it's
this
nothing
morning, which I covered in the
obligatory.
video that I just linked
If
to
you
some dude a few
enjoy,
minutes
like,
ago.
this active,
That talks about, they literally
gameplay
came out this morning and
where you
said,
can
here's
gain
where it is
stuff,
in the
you can
storyline.
definitely do
It's
it.
after this
Very,
quest, midway
rewarding.
through the game.
But if you prefer to,
It's
for
not
this
an
to work
in-game
behind the
DLC.
scenes for you, absolutely
But
an
you
option, and
can
you
play it
do
if you've already
Yeah.
completed the
Plus,
game.
in
You'll get
general,
an
we added
option
some
to go
really
do it.
cool perks,
Or when you start the
and
game for the
stuff on
first
Netrunner.
time, you
For
can
example,
skip
there's
everything else and go straight to Phantom Liberty if you want.
overclock, perk
They're
that
giving
basically
people lots
allows
of
how it works
options
is
on how
once you run,
they access
if you have
Phantom
this perk,
Liberty.
once you run out of RAM, you are able to use your health pool to be able to use it as a resource to
Health
to
pool
go
is
so high. So
usable
as you may
if you
expect,
run out of RAM.
it drastically changes how you play. You use your
That's
health pools,
cool.
maybe you want to think of Cyberware to give you this armor to be able to maybe survive as well. It's also important.
It's a super cool perk because it allows the player to basically think about his character not only in moment to moment, which is also important. Is it worth it even to cast this quick hack right here, right now, or am I putting myself into a too vulnerable position? But also on this like a macro level, that okay, I love this perk, I love to using it as much as possible. So now I want to have Cyberware that basically protects me when it happens, and there will be like plenty of different types of Cyberware and ways for you to build your character from the Cyberware perspective around this one particular perk, but there are like tons of other examples like this.
Exactly. From Intelligence Tree in general, we also added some really cool stuff. For example, the copy-paste ability, which is something super exciting. Like it's maybe a little bit OP in some situations because how it works is the
Perfectly
Netrunner.
balanced.
Yeah. How it works is if the enemy Netrunner is trying to upload some hack on you, you can upload some hack on him, and the hack you chose will spread among the whole group of enemies.
Oh, that's
and
so
I will
cool.
Throw it out there. There is a suicide hack, so there are some situations in which it could be a little bit OP, but we are fine with it, I
Oh,
guess.
you know what to do, guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
Go try it out.
So we already mentioned some of the quick hacks, but what else can we do with them? Like, can we do like a queue or combos?
Yes. In general, from Netrunner, we also worked on the queue functionality. The way it works, maybe we'll quickly catch up with how it works. Basically, you need to be a Netrunner, you need a cyber deck. Plus, you need a perk, a specific perk from Intelligence perk tree unlock to be able to throw Q hacks on
Quick hack.
And in the base version of this perk, you are able to queue 2 hacks on one enemy that will happen consequently on one enemy. You are able to modify it to allow you to throw up to 4.
Oh, I know
perks
Oxlor, and
per
that's how I
consumable.
felt. I loved the base
The
game.
way
It was just a
works
buggy hot
is,
mess.
Obviously, as you
And it
might
played like
expect,
shit
they
on my
will happen
PS4
once
Slim,
you
so I was
queue
like,
2
I'll
hacks
wait till I
on
get a
one
next-gen
enemy, they
console.
will happen,
Now I have the
right
Series X, and
after
I
one
can't
after
fucking wait.
consecutively, but also the upload time of them will be reduced to differ from a situation in which you
Netrunner
upload one,
stealth
wait, and
build,
then upload
baby.
the second one.
There's
So
a
this
link
is
to the
first,
playlist down below,
game
everybody.
from it.
We're starting the
And it's, super
playthrough.
cool because
As soon as update 2.0 is patched on my Xbox, so I'll be live here probably a couple hours after this stream. I'll be live with my first video in that playthrough series. We got a whole new Let's Play series, as well as live stream section starting. Still doing lots of Baldur's Gate 3 and Starfield, but this is the priority for the next 5-6 days until the launch of Phantom Liberty, which is the 26th. We'll be streaming Cyberpunk exclusively daily at 11 a.m. Central Time.
Two quick hacks queue is one thing. free is like a different thing, and then
I can't wait to get
forced
this
is
queue.
even different. It also
He said it's in the intelligence
reduces
tree.
the amount of RAM it takes. So
So I can
really,
queue up
it's
different
gonna take a
things
lot of
on
like
mobs. This is gonna be awesome.
skill to
I didn't
fully,
do a lot of net
you know,
running. I didn't do a lot of hacking my first
the skill
playthrough. I
cap
mostly
basically
stuck to
is-
just a
is
stealth
super
build.
high, for it,
Occasionally
and,
using the
but
hacking,
the
but this
reward
time
is
I'm
also
going
amazing.
full
Like,
Netrunner
once you get
with
the-
stealth
the-
as a
the feel
background.
for it,
I've also heard that
you're
they've
basically a
separated
god.
crafting
But
out
not because
as its
the-
own
the
thing now,
damage
so
is
it's
just
not part of
high
the
or
perks
or the attacks
system.
are so high,
I
but
haven't
because
seen
you
that
did
in
it,
any
you
of
know?
their
You
streams,
are the
so
one that
I'm
is
looking forward to
combining those skills
confirming that
in
in
proper
game.
order, using those quick hacks at the right time, and using the proper
Yeah, I'll be doing
cyberware and perks
pistols
to,
primarily,
you know,
but
accommodate
smart
for all
tech
of it.
weapons as a
RAM,
backup.
there is just,
Oxhorn, because I love, like, one of the weapons I had in the first playthrough was an automatic smart gun. It was an automatic assault rifle that was a tech weapon, which the bullets tracked the target. So as long as I was locked onto them, they could go hide behind shit, and I could still just fire in their general direction, and the bullets would go around and hit them. I'm going to be doing the same thing here. That's my preference. So I'll be using the pistol for stealth. Anytime my stealth gets broken, I will. But they also said that now smart weapons and tech weapons have suppressors and can be used in stealth as well. So I might completely change my mindset once I get into the game.
Reduce the upload time even more. And with this specific cyber deck, I mean, there's the combinations that you will be able to maybe sandwich combat hack in between two non-combat hacks, stuff like this. It will be it will gain you much more bonuses and generally allow you to really find your Netrunner playstyle way more.
Yeah, it's you can be much more precise with how you want to, what kind of Netrunner you want to be.
All right, so we know what we can do to our enemies, but what can we do to cars?
Yeah.
Okay, so cars,
Vehicle
cars
combat.
Since 2.0 can be quick hacked as well.
Yeah,
there
quick
are
hack on
multiple,
cars.
Multiple. I don't know how many. I think 4 or 5 quick hacks are
something
available.
like this,
They become available to the player with the rarity of the cyber deck they use, and they're awesome. Like this is one of the coolest things when it comes to like the emergent gameplay that's happening in the city, and like what kind of fun you can have, you know, outside of encounters, just, you know, driving the city and just having fun, stopping police, exploding cars using remote control, just forcing them to speed up, and then, you know, you can force them to speed up while you take the off ramp from the highway, for instance. And there are like plenty of those like little things that you can do that basically not only are powerful on its own, but they create those unique, unpredictable situations that are fun. You know, a lot of explosions.
Yes, a lot of explosions, a lot of driving. Like I love the remote driving. It's like coming back to my memories from childhood. But to be able to do it, basically, what you need is obviously a cyber deck. But there is a certain perk that will allow you to quick hack cars.
And it's very early on, so
Yes.
it's nothing like you can get it almost right away.
Yeah.
Awesome. I mean, I can't wait to play a Netrunner myself. Maybe I will finally give it a proper go.
Yeah,
It
I think I'm
deserves
going to
it.
respec into a Netrunner.
All right, so thank you guys very much for clarifying what we can expect in terms of net running as a player. So now, before we go to another segment, let's sum up quickly what we just talked about. So, we have the new queuing quick hack system. We can do amazing combinations with them. We have overclock skill to, even boost this gameplay. And you can hack vehicles and you can do whatever you want with them. Like you heard the guys, so just give it a go.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Crazy combos. All right, so next up we have one of the biggest changes, I think, coming with update 2.0, which is Cyberware. I know we've changed
Yeah,
a lot
Cyberware
when it comes to
update. It's gonna be
Cyberware.
awesome.
So maybe let's start with why did you even decided to change how Cyberware works?
Sure. There were a couple of reasons. I think the first one was that we are thinking about cyberware as part of your build. In a game like Cyberpunk, Night City, your skills and your character is just as important as the gear that you're having. It's a brutal world where this is just the brutal truth, and we wanted the cyberware to feel like this. It's basically Something
also
that is,
photo mode.
taking care of you.
You can go into
behind the
photo mode to
scenes.
get all the screenshots
We
you
were
want in third
thinking
person.
about when we were designing the Cyberware, we knew from the very get-go that we wanted the Cyberware to support whatever playstyle you want to pick from the perks. Either pick the Cyberware that basically brings this particular playstyle over the top, allowing to do crazy things, or if you feel that your particular build is missing something, Cyberware is probably there to handle this problem for you. On top of it, there was this very important reason of argument for style over substance. It was absolutely crucial for us that we wanted for the players to not have to make this kind of difficult choice. Do I want to look like this, or do I want to have the best stats? Yeah. No, currently stats are in the Cyberware, clothes are for your looks and to represent your character, to feel however you want to feel. Sure, there are a couple of stats here and there for clothes, but they are not for the RPG sake, like power level of your character. But they're more even to like even more.
I don't know, Oxlor. I saw him in some of the video snippets, but I don't know if that was stuff from other parts of the game or if that's specific to the DLC.
That, for instance, Kevlar vest still have some kind of armor on it. But if you go and compare the Kevlar vest to like any basic Cyberware you have, you know that basically you don't need Kevlar vest to be a tough guy in this world.
Yes, plus, we wanted the system to reflect on what is the world of Cyberpunk in general. Look at even the anime that is there already for quite some time, or even our characters in the game itself. Look at the Kurt Hansen character. You know, he's like a tough motherfucker. He is the dog of Dogtown. You'd probably expect him to sit inside of his apartment, trying like scared for his life. But no, he's out there. He doesn't wear a Kevlar vest.
Tank top, rather.
Yeah, he wears a tank top, and in this world, why is that? Yes, because at this high leaks, people gain those stats from Chrome, and we wanted this fantasy to also be in the game, because as Philip said to you, we really saw your fashion crimes, guys. You no longer have to find every piece of the clothing that will give you some of the stats. But that being said, as Philip mentioned, there are still some stats. If you really want to min-max your character and have every piece of armor you can get, every little edge, or for example, there is a Netrunner headpiece that will give you some of the quick hack time upload speed reduction. But those are minor stuff. But if you want to min-max, you can still do it. And we have transmog in the game still, so you are able to have those stats on you, but look.
Still look good.
Yeah, absolutely. And have different like sets of how you look. That's also very cool.
Yeah. Okay, so we have a lot of changes to Cyberware. If I am a player coming back to the game with my existing save in update 2.0, what does it mean to me? Will the game tell me how it works? Explain it?
Yeah. So basically, one thing that you can expect is as you go back to the game with your save.
You never know with my backwoods internet, man.
You'll be called by Victor to visit his shop, and there will be a tutorial explaining all the new mechanics. We have a completely new Cyberware panel where you'll be able to see the Cyberware capacity. We'll probably be talking about this later. Armor and like explaining like where's what and how it works.
Awesome. So there's gonna be like a short quest to explain that. But yes, speaking of capacity, because that's very tightly connected to our Cyberware. It depends on, you have the limit of capacity, and on it depends how much Cyberware you can wear. But what would happen if I have too much Cyberware? Can I go over this capacity, and also can I increase it somehow?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. So first and foremost, you cannot strictly, we don't allow you to exceed this limit. You will not be able to, unless there is one situation in which you can unlock a Edgerunner perk that will allow you to exceed this capacity by 50 points by the cost of the max health of your character. And with this perk, it's actually another example of our role-playing and playing with the fantasy of the world. Because you just exceeded your Cyberware. Now you have you are over the limit, And with this perk, there's this
5
state
p.m.
that you can enter
CEST
during
is when
combat and
update
in
2
general
is
in the
dropping.
game. That will give
Make
you
sure
some
to
of the
update your
damage and
NVIDIA
crit
drivers
chance
if you have
boost,
them and
but,
uninstall disable
you
mods.
know, it's
So that's in
something
about
that we
20
wanted to
minutes is
also
when
play with
update
the fact
2.0
that,
is hitting everybody.
you decided to change something to your character, and there is this state that you still control your character fully. It's not cyberpsychosis, but it's maybe something that you can think of in similar ways.
You can act like a cyber psycho.
Exactly, role play.
Yeah, I mean, if you saw Edge Runners, this is basically the David Martinez perk.
Yes,
Yeah.
even the icon.
Yes.
The downside for it is that your health is reduced at all times.
Man, I'm gonna have
but
so
this
much
only
fun making
adds to this
build
weight,
guides
that,
this time around.
There's a reason why there's a limit,
We're
because
going
there's just
deep.
so much
We're
your
going
body can
deep,
handle,
everybody.
and you cannot go over this limit. And this
can't wait.
adds like more gravity and weight to every single choice that you make, because there's just so much to choose from, and it's up to you. What do you think you need the most, or what do you enjoy the most, to pick those to complement your build.
Oh, it's so
Alright.
good.
So there are, I know, some items and some perks that also
Yes.
affect both our capacity for cyberware,
Yes.
but also some cyberware slots.
Yes. So we have like new items that we've added. It's actually one of my favorite items right now, because whenever it drops, I'm like, I have like this huge grin on my on my face, because it can basically speed up my the time where I can get my new cyberware for like by one level or something like this. So there are items that drop that we call them cyberware capacity shards, I think,
Yes.
and they optimize your system so that essentially you can just basically get more cyberware. And we even have a cyberware dedicated just to increase your cyberware capacity.
That's
Nice.
so meta.
Which seems
Yeah, it is
like
meta.
crazy, but this cyberware is extremely powerful, and I can't wait for people to like try it out.
Exactly. There's this awesome perk.
That's
it's
expensive.
called, I believe,
33,000 credits. Oh my
Cyberware
god.
Connoisseur. Yeah, that even adds, if you unlock it, it even allows you to have a choice between two stats while upgrading cyberware and stuff like this. It's all super
Okay.
good.
So you already told us about this cyberware that allows you to exceed the capacity. I mean, make it more. Anything else that you could spoil for our players? That's some new cyberware that is coming.
Like one of my favorites is that we added the cyberware for hands. It's not a smart link. It's not. It's a general cyberware that basically reduces the stamina cost while shooting. And with this cyberware, it's quite costly. But with this cyberware, you can reach basically like laser accuracy with most weapons.
Nice.
It's really amazing.
Wow.
Other than that, I don't know, a couple of other examples. We modify like biomonitor so that now it takes care of you. It's basically whenever you can heal and there's a need for you to heal, you're being damaged, it automatically uses your consumables,
Oh, that's
injector or
cool.
inhaler, and it's super nice because you don't have to worry like about your health. You have to worry about your health, but you don't have to worry about healing. You have the certainty that it will do this job for you. So if you're like in the midst of battle and you want to,
I never had any problems getting money, but I go out and do all sorts of stuff. So I'm constantly doing side quests and stuff.
Because
So.
the cyberware will basically be protecting you, and also cool because.
But they did mention they've made changes to the economy,
under
so
the
we'll
hood,
see.
meaning that you don't have to like cancel the shooting to have the animation of healing yourself, because it happens at the same time.
Nice. Okay, on the topic of cyberware, our community was actually wondering whether we would have different types of the same cyberware. So, for example, different types of mantis blades.
So yeah, this is still a thing. Different types of mantis blades would deal different types of damage. For example, electrical, chemical, and stuff like this. But from 2.0, we added way more to it. For example, there's different cyber decks that allow you rather not for specific effects, but rather allow you to attune it to a specific play style you want to have. So there's cyber deck that will play very well with stealth net running, and there's a cyber deck that will allow you to have more of the monowire combat enhanced for
aggressive Sandevi stance, defensive Sandevi stance,
Yeah.
which it's really like a theme with many things where a particular cyberware or group of cyberware, they do a similar thing when it comes to like their functionality, but they do it so differently that it's really up to you which one do you prefer most. And it's even really cool to basically switch them up from time to time while still building your character, growing from your perks and everything. But just mix this thing up as you go, because maybe you feel more comfortable with your build, maybe you learned or mastered the, let's say, I don't know, dash or any other like wrecking ball, and maybe you can swap something for something else.
Exactly, we wanted you to, even if you already
For those
make a
who are wondering
decision
about
that
Luke
I
at the
want to
beginning
have
of the
this
stream,
play
he's
style,
now
okay,
underneath
this decision
my
is made, but
sweater.
I
He's
still have
buried
some
under here
options,
sleeping.
to choose
So
from.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
still
All right, so we're gonna have a lot of cyberware to choose from. How about players that don't want to get implants? Is it even a viable playstyle?
So basically the rule of thumb here is we do not penalize player from having cyber at any point in the game. There is no effect that you would have because you have cyberware. Plus, I would rather say that we encourage you to have this cyberware because maybe armor itself isn't the main reason here, because you probably can play without armor for at least for lower
Easy,
difficulties,
yeah.
and
I think up to hard, it's totally possible. It was one of actually one of the
Well, there
reasons
was
why
a
we
kitty
also
camo at the
made
beginning of the stream,
cyberware
but he's
change,
underneath the
that
sweater now.
players can like previously players always had this armor with them because they were just picking it up from the clothes as they were playing the game. So at all times you had some kind of armor.
Y'all are
Right
making
now,
me
we
chuckle.
fully support no armor.
Money's
playstyle
hard to get without
up
hacks.
to,
No,
I
it's
think,
not.
hard difficulty.
Yeah.
On very
It's
hard,
hard
it will
to
be really
get
challenging,
Yeah,
I think.
if you
exactly.
don't want to do side
But,
quests. If you do
this
side
is, like,
quests, you've always
connected
got plenty of money. It's
to
kind
this
of like
question
ammo
about
in
the
Starfield.
humanity.
I've heard a lot
This
of people
is
complain
a
that
very
ammo is hard to
powerful
get in
decision this
Starfield.
world, you know,
It's
not
not hard to get in
installing
Starfield,
the
but
Chrome.
it's
This is like the
predicated
reverse
on
of
you being
everybody is
willing to
doing,
go
which
out
makes
and
this
explore
choice even
planets
so
and
much
explore
more,
all the
like,
bandit
meaningful.
bases
So
and pirate
I think it's
bases
totally
and
possible. You don't have
abandoned
to
like
install it, and
factories and
you'll be
abandoned
fine, but
whatever you
you
find,
need
the
to,
mining facilities
you
and the
need to know
research
that the
facilities,
game will be
because there is
significantly
tons
much
of
more
ammo
difficult.
I also think that
and
if someone
crafted
wants to
resources to be
roleplay of
fine,
the-
but
of
you
the
do have to go
purest
out and
one,
actually find
it's
it.
already a little bit impossible because you have some of the cyberware by default in Cyberpunk anyway.
But y'all make me chuckle.
Right, so we have another question from the community. So
It's
we
hard enough to
heard
get money in
about
real
the
life,
new Relic
yeah.
perks adding new features to the Mantis Blade, the monowire, and the PLS. But what does it do for Gorilla Arms abusers like me?
Gorilla Arms abusers. I love this phrasing.
My kind of person.
Yeah. So yeah, there's a lot for Gorilla Arms abusers. In Relic perk tree, there's this really awesome perk that allows you to charge up your Gorilla Arms while fighting with them. And once charged up, you are able to perform this really powerful one-punch attack that basically deals massive damage to the enemy you're punching, plus
Shockwave.
has this shockwave that staggers nearby enemies and maybe knock them out with progression of this perk later on. And if you happen to kill the enemy with it, you basically
Which we will.
you basically turn this person into Neil Armstrong, and you send him to the moon. He never comes back. But there's a lot more to it in Relic perk tree.
Actually, the whole Relic tree is all about cyberware.
Yeah.
From every single section, it's a really cyberware-oriented skill tree because it's related to the story and Songbird, and she's doing the stuff through the Relic to basically enhance your cyberware. It's very powerful. It's
That's
very
like somebody
distinctive.
put out a video this
It
morning I
can
saw
go
on
either the
TikTok, how to
offensive
get
side with
5
it,
million
or
credits
on
fast
the,
in
on the defensive
Starfield.
side with the,
Yeah.
with the
And you go
stealth,
watch it, and it's literally them
optical
telling you how to
camo, perk,
abuse a
but
glitch
my
in the
favorite
game.
one
And it was like,
in
come
Relic
on,
perk tree is
guys.
about
Come on.
vulnerability analytics. It also plays this narration of connecting with
Dude, I
Cyberware, because
skipped the
technically you
hand-to-hand
need
stuff in
Kiroshi
the first time
to have
around
it, but you have
Oxlorn.
Kiroshi, in the game anyway.
Because it was such a pain
But
in
the
the
way it
ass to do
works,
the
it's
hand-to-hand stuff.
basically the
I was like,
system
nope,
analyzes
I'm out.
the enemy for you and looks for some weak spots in the enemy, maybe broken cyber or something in the enemy itself, and it shows it on the UI on the HUD overlay of the game, which is basically those red squares that you will be able to shoot. And it does not only deal massive damage to the enemy, but it also explodes while you hit it.
I
AoE
like how they explode.
And it's an EMP damage, which can also be relevant.
EMP
against
damage,
certain
baby.
types of enemies.
Yes.
It's really cool. This one really took me by surprise because I didn't really appreciate until I actually played it how sweetly it changes the way you play the game.
Yes.
You have like this flow of like doing the headshots, trying to shoot them, and now the moment the vulnerability appears, you have to make this little decision. Okay, should I switch it up, change my aim for the bigger payoff, depending on where the enemy is, how far he is, how damaged he is, and it constantly keeps you engaged and like it's just very
No,
fun.
it should be hitting in about 10 minutes, Sneaky.
Weapons, stuff like that.
They just updated the
awesome.
Twitch
It worked
with
with melee
a
weapons
pinned
as
post
well,
about
so
10 minutes ago.
It's
5
made it a little
p.m.
bit harder, but with melee. but
local
know,
time
it's
for
just
them,
different.
Yeah.
So it
which
could
is in
work
about 10
basically
minutes.
almost any build.
Yeah.
Yes. Let's just repeat that the Relic perk tree is Phantom Liberty exclusive. So today you will
Of
not be
course.
able to play
Yes.
it, but
Relic perk tree
In a few
is
days.
Phantom Liberty
Yeah.
exclusive. That's good to know.
All right, so now we can sum up. And yeah, so guys, you have new Cyberware coming. Some of the changes to Cyberware, which, for example, one of them is the capacity. So make sure, to check your limits, check your skills, check your perks. If you can go further than that, if you want, go for the Netrunner perk and see what it does. And another bigger change is the armor is now coming, not through Cyberware. Well, through Cyberware, sorry, not through the actual clothing.
Okay, so Cyberware was a very big and very impactful topic, very visible in the game. But now let's talk about something less visible, but I think as important as that. So all of the balance changes and economy changes.
Here we go,
So
people. Economy
balance,
stuff.
we already talked a little bit about the changes to AI. Now maybe let's focus on economy. So I know that now we're gonna get a little bit less loot. There are some price changes. So can you talk a little bit more about the intent behind it?
Sure. I think that the first thing that players will notice is that there's generally less loot on the level, dropping from the enemies, and it was important for us so that player can like really focus, on the story and like not break this gameplay into two phases where you clear the encounter and then go around the encounter and you feel like the scavenger who's picking this stuff from all over the place.
Yeah, every time.
Which I have to do
Yeah,
every
and
time in
so
Starfield.
the loot is more meaningful this time around, and clothes are no longer
Same thing in
dropping
Baldur's Gate
from
3. The area loot
from
button
enemies.
is my friend.
We didn't like this from the fantasy point of view. You're supposed to be merc. You choose your loadouts, your gear, how you look in this world. It shouldn't be some random chance. Plus, it just didn't feel right, to be picking up
basing your wardrobe from dead
from
bodies.
dead bodies that you just massacred with mantis blades or grenades and whatnot.
With holes inside.
Exactly. So that's a very nice change, in my opinion. What else? Oh, and coming back to the fact of being mercenary. You will notice that you get much more money from the rewards for doing the quests and the gigs and whatever the fixers are setting you up with.
More
in
reasons to
this
do
world,
side quests.
It really wouldn't make sense to risk lives in this extremely brutal environment if you weren't paid properly to afford the cyberware and weapons and other toys like cars, apartments, and
Yes,
et
exactly.
cetera.
Plus, you can make it really tied
Cars.
to your specific character.
I got
you want
addicted to
be.
cars in the
Plus
first run
vendors,
through.
one
Even
thing
though
to
I suck
mention
at
here,
driving in this
they
game.
will also change up what they have in stock. So it's worth revisiting them from time to time. Different small thing we also worked on is how thematic the vendors are. Maybe vendor in city center would sell you more, silver substance, golden weapons, and the black market vendor would sell you illegal weapons, stuff like this. So that also plays along with this fantasy of deciding what is your gear, what is your clothing,
Yes.
who you are.
Wow, that's nice. So less loot, but I will be earning more eddies from gigs. That's pretty nice. So speaking of that, our community actually had a question about it. Like, how big will the new item loot pool be regarding weapons, cyberware, and mods?
Yeah, I think we shouldn't talk about numbers here probably.
Give us a week.
Yeah,
Maybe
we
we
have
can
to count
it.
them. Yeah, we
Oh,
have
I'll
to
be doing
count
a
them, but,
completionist journey for
I would
sure.
say that let's
Couple
answer
hundred
this
hours.
in a way that we obviously added a lot of items to the game, especially to Phantom Liberty expansion. But listen, we literally took every item in the game that was already there, redesigned it,
Oh
rethinked
yeah,
it.
Oxlorn.
As I mentioned, there's no
I'm
stone unturned,
loving
so
like
we
the way
probably
we're
should,
getting
from
games like
gameplay
Baldur's Gate
perspective,
3,
answer that,
Starfield, this new
every item in the
Cyberpunk
game is a
2.0,
new
like
one,
games
so
that are going to give us
countless.
200, 300 hours of gameplay, like just in like a first run through. It's like so fucking awesome.
Grenades,
You're going to live in these worlds now. It's not just a 50-hour linear experience.
Wow, so basically all new loot pool for our
Plus
players.
a lot of new items that weren't in the game. Yeah.
Exactly. Obviously, let's clarify that that does not mean that all weapons will have new models, stuff like that.
No.
We're talking about gameplay perspective
Yeah.
here. Yeah.
Okay, so while we are on the gameplay perspective, what about crafting and upgrading items?
Yeah,
Because I know
crafting.
this
I
is
love
like a very
crafting.
hot topic within our community. Like, where did the crafting go? What's happening?
Sure. So crafting is still very much a thing. Actually, I would maybe even say it's more of a thing because it's not like tied to the tech tree, at least not
Nice.
directly.
Hang
Meaning
on.
everybody can craft craft weapons or upgrade iconics or upgrade even cyberware. This
Okay.
is the new addition that we've added. In tech tree, there'll be perks that will make the upgrading process maybe simpler, easier, because you will have more components, you'll have more choices when it comes to upgrading. So what do you want to upgrade into, for instance, the cyberware? But as a baseline, everybody can do the upgrading and crafting. And it's just a matter
Dude,
of
I'm in the
how
same
do you
boat,
wanna,
Sneaky Snake.
be
As soon
involved in
as
this
soon as
loop.
Baldur's Gate 3 hits
cool
the
part is
Xbox,
that,
I am
you'll be
moving my
finding
cross
some,
save over, and I'm
recipes in
playing
the loot.
exclusively on the
So this
Xbox
will
with Baldur's
also
Gate
probably
3.
play a
That'll probably
factor
be my
whether you'll be
sorcerer
engaging
playthrough
in
by the
this
time
and
that
how you'll
happens,
be
because I'm
engaging
still
in this.
Exactly.
finishing
We
up
didn't
the
want
Druid
to
on the live
introduce
streams.
this bottlenecks into the system, so we wanted every possible playstyle to have an option to use this super powerful.
Quick resume for the win between my
tool,
3
which
favorite
is
babies for
crafting
the rest of the
upgrading.
year.
I know, Alicia, you asked me previously, why did you change this?
Yeah, because I went into full like tech tree just to be able to craft legendaries. Like my legendary Overwatch is, I love it.
You'll be able to
the
do
same.
it still. You'll get your points back, and if you
nice.
choose to go back to tech, there's there are some big payoffs at level 20. So I think you'll like it.
I will check it out. Maybe Netrunner, maybe techie. We'll see.
One thing to mention here is that components that you use in crafting and upgrading, they are not purchasable. You'll have to find them in loads. So guys, good luck in airdrops.
yeah. But this makes them so much more, exciting, and you're happy when you get them. Also, the whole upgrading is streamlined so that you only need a single type of component to upgrade, which it's like a nice quality of life change for the people.
And we are talking about the upgrading. I think what's worth mentioning here that we replaced the old rarity levels with new ones. Right?
Oh,
Can
so there's
we
new
maybe
rarity levels.
Explain a bit
Tiers.
more.
With tiers.
tiers.
Yeah, so
Tiers
currently they're called tiers. Basically, every couple of levels, player will advance to a new tier. It doesn't happen it's not like a hard cutoff point where suddenly you are on the next tier. It's just the items from the next tier will become available, both from the loot, from enemies and chests, containers, etc., and also at vendors. With each new tier, new types of items are introduced. New weapons, new cyberware, quick hacks, and other things. So this is a big change, definitely. We changed it primarily to allow players to play with their weapons for as long as they want. Previously, weapons were scaling with each level. Their damage was scaling with each level. And players were, when they saw a new gun that had this green arrow, up arrow on it, they were often, just switching it up. And we didn't like how it was controlling the way you play instead of giving you the freedom to role-play your character. So if you really care about using pistols, like me, I really didn't like this moment when suddenly having a shotgun dropped makes me change it because it's just more powerful. I didn't. This fear of missing out was just too powerful.
Exactly.
FOMO,
and this
baby.
is also a theme in a lot of changes that we are talking about today. We looked at our systems and we found all the places that kinda, instead of introducing choice, we are deciding and respecting this choice and having an actual decision-making left for the player. We felt like we are making this decision for them. So here, obviously, this is something that we really wanted to put emphasis on. But with those loop changes, with tier changes, that does not mean that weapons have, like the leveling up does not mean anything.
Look at all those weapons!
Because
Look at them!
with
Look at all of them!
Better weapons will be dropped from loot.
Assault rifles,
So this is
submachine
also
guns,
something
pistol
that,
shotguns,
will
light
play
machine
long
guns,
plus with
submachine guns.
vendors
Look at
will
this,
change
look at
their
this, look at
stock, for
this, look at
example.
this.
So
Oh my
it's
god.
worth
Headshot
revisiting
damage,
different,
multiplier.
different vendors in the Night CD.
Oh,
From time to
man.
time, you'll see like the next tier loot in there, and
Look
if
at
it
the
like
new
matches your playstyle, it's
reload
definitely
speed,
something worth
damage,
considering
effective
to get.
Fuck
Yeah, you're
yeah,
ahead of
man.
curve sometimes.
Yeah, I think that the biggest change
Hell
is
yeah.
that player has this time, where he can really appreciate the weapon he's having, like have fun with it, check it out, and not worry that there is this next gun that will take this away from me. And it really completely changed the dynamic of how you're
This looks
building your
amazing.
character and how much you can role play it. So this was, I think, the biggest one.
And with upgrading, the gun can grow together with the player.
Yes, however, we are
I think
no
that
longer
answered your
upgrading
question,
guns
Oxlord.
themselves. You can upgrade iconics,
If it was doing
but not
stats
the
only or
guns.
cosmetically too.
Iconic weapons.
Update is
like-
live
Iconic
now.
weapons, yeah,
Let me
of
double
course.
check my
Cyberware as
Xbox.
well.
Yes.
Okay, so I know we have some changes when it comes to the stamina. So what can you tell us about that?
So first and foremost, with stamina,
I don't see it yet. I'm
the
gonna reboot
biggest,
my Xbox here.
The thing we wanted to achieve here is give player ability to move around the Night City.
Yeah, I'm
freely
restarting my
without,
Xbox right now 'cause I haven't
being annoyed that the
seen- I don't
stamina
see
is
the
running,
update quite yet.
Running
Out.
when you are sprinting, for example, from quest to quest. So those movement verbs no longer use stamina that is sprinting, jumping. Obviously, some of the movement verbs that are more combat related, like the crouch sprint we mentioned, or dashes, stuff like this. Also,
Well, I did just check for updates and it didn't tell me anything, so I'm just.
that the mobility of players is not,
Sorry for the background noise.
being
That's the Xbox booting
controlled
up,
by
folks.
stamina resource. But stamina resource from now on will depend on the recoil of the weapon. So shooting the gun will drain the stamina resource. But a very important message we would like to put here is that it does not mean that we are introducing this recoil mechanic to the game. It does not mean that the weapon handling will be worse. It's the opposite. This recoil mechanic was already in the game. It was behind.
I don't see it yet on the Xbox. So
we were controlling it fully, but again, as with a lot of changes that we did,
You could feel it somehow, through how the weapon behaves, how the reticle is shaping up, etc. But it was very obscured.
Exactly, it differed from weapon to weapon, but as with many changes that we are discussing today, we wanted to take away this decision from us and give it to the player. So stamina resource is a perfect way to do it. We decided that from now on, this behind the scenes system will be controllable by player. And
yes, Gary, this is the
adding it to
2.0 update
stamina,
that goes live today on the
like,
21st.
by combining it with stamina resource, we were able to.
No, but they do
put
recommend
a lot of
uninstalling
decisions for the
all
player. You're now able
mods.
to modify how your stamina is behaving with perks, with the different
Cyberware.
abilities, cyberware,
Yeah.
modifications on weapons, a lot of stuff. And
Even like just watching your stamina as you should, and like comparing the behavior of the weapon, the aim that you can get, on high level of stamina versus no stamina, it's very different. And then different weapons use stamina also differently, which allowed us for the weapons to be much more how to say, like farther apart. More.
Yeah, I did a
more
video the
unique
other day
and
on the
have their
redemption
own
arc
characteristics.
of
They
Cyberpunk.
had the characteristics.
Some
don't get me
do.
wrong,
Yeah, they've
previously.
definitely redeemed
It's just,
themselves.
we're just
But
doubling
they
down on this.
they had a
Exactly,
fucked up
and
launch with
maybe
Witcher
there's a
3
lot
too that so many people
to
forget.
maybe
Like the Witcher 3
affect
had a
this,
totally messed up
handling
buggy
from
ass
the
launch,
player
and they
perspective
redeemed
rather than
themselves with
clear.
Witcher 3. So
It
I
is
don't know why
clear.
people
You can
thought
like
it would be
see
any
it,
different with
and
Cyberpunk.
you can
Like,
you can expect what happens
you know.
because by the way stamina works as you should, you see the difference. Like it's really noticeable, especially for certain weapons, which is also cool because if this is not something for you, which where you enjoy those very accurate weapons like sniper rifles or pistols, there are definitely weapons which are like softer on the stamina and you know it's like their theme.
Well, yeah, plus it plays along really well with what Philip was describing before, which is the tiers system. Because because of the tier system got reworked, you are able to stick with one weapon for a bit longer now. That means one of the things you will notice a lot is that you will be able to actually play around with this recall and stamina system, and maybe find a weapon that actually suits your how fun it is to shoot, how fun it is to play with it, rather than what's the damage on
yeah,
on
and also like the distance, that depending on what distance you're playing, it also is a big factor how you look at those things. And one important thing to add, probably we should have told about it earlier, is that weapon tooltips, where you will no longer see this DPS, big DPS number, which was pretty much defining the weapon as it is.
Arrow up or down.
Yes,
Exactly.
but instead you'll see a set of like bars about like the damage of the weapon, like single damage.
yeah, I
of
like
the
the
weapon,
way they're
rate of
presenting
fire,
the information now on
handling,
the
and
weapons.
some other
it's
stuff.
much
Distance,
it's much more like
distance,
Call of Duty
and
type.
you should be basically
which is great for
looking at it,
shooters,
and this will give you some glimpse of what to expect from the weapon, whether it fits. But then you should just try it out and see if it's your thing or not.
Yeah, that's a lot of changes. I mean, that's why I've been going into crafting, because I could keep my weapons for longer.
Exactly.
So I'm happy that it's now
So
available
she just
for all
pinned
users.
that GOG is
basically
currently
what we wanted
updating.
to achieve on the global level.
So they're
without
starting
the
to roll
need
out the
like,
patch
maintain
across
your,
all of the
your
various
weapon
platforms.
of
Yeah.
I
It's
still
a
don't see it
thing,
yet on the
definitely.
Xbox.
So for those of you who have your beloved iconic, you'll be definitely be able to like maintain it and master it.
Okay, moving on to other types of weapons, we haven't really touched upon the smart weapons. I know that they are now connected with the intelligence attributes. So what else can you tell us about that?
So with smart weapons, yeah, this is another awesome change. I
One of my
really
favorites.
love, one of my favorites in terms of weapons. What we changed is how the target locking works on smart weapons. That's the biggest
target
change
locking
we
on smart weapons.
focused
I
on,
need to
and,
know. This is awesome.
in terms of
Because I used smart weapons my whole
the way
first
it used to
playthrough.
work, when you were aiming with your smart weapon, a lot of targets on one singular enemy were chosen, and while shooting, the bullets went to those targets. And currently, it's reworked in a way that first of all, we added a time
Lock on time.
Lock on time, so it's not instantaneous, and I'll touch on that in a second. But second big thing we added is that from now on, the target on singular enemy that is chosen by smart weapon is just one singular target. So if you are shooting from hip, it will be usually torso. But if you are ADSing, this will usually be but basically it will be the best possible spot on enemy's body to shoot it. It could be a
We
head,
saw that
but
earlier,
with,
like the
vulnerability
knees.
analytics. It could be this weak spot on the enemy, or maybe there's something more to it. There's some,
So that was the smart weapon
I
coming
know,
into
broken
play.
cyber inside of the enemy, or something that will be chosen with the smart weapon for you.
Okay.
And as I said, we added this locking time to it, and this allows us to add a lot of synergies between perks
And depth.
and depth to like player choice, player progression of smart weapon play style rather than singular smart weapon.
And even like choosing which smart weapon you want to use, because the differences between smart weapons are like they've never been as big as right now. They vary in like the shape and the size of the reticle. So how easy it is to lock target, to get it into your frame, but also like the distance, the speed of how quickly they are locking on the target. Again, even though smart weapons are in the intelligence tree and they fully synergizes with the Netrunner playstyle, you can totally use smart weapons as like the fast reflexes character who is like zooming around the battlefield, doing a lot of 180s, in a very agile manner, and like pick a smart weapon that basically can catch up with you while you're doing all of this cool stuff. Versus, for instance, if you're a body character, which is like slower but sturdier, maybe then a different set of smart weapons could be a thing for you, and it's like totally, supported.
Yeah, basically, from 2.0, smart weapons require less aiming skills, and maybe to be more efficient with them, you actually have to spend a little bit more time planning ahead what I will do with this weapon. So it plays along with this fantasy of who would use this smart weapon. Probably a person that actually.
All right, I've got
sits
to
down,
buy. I'll be
opens
right back,
perks,
guys.
Reads descriptions, plans out modifications, stuff like this. So basically, we made smart weapons actually smart.
Yeah, but that for sure. Talking about the being smarter, you can now, for instance, lock onto a target while actually losing the line of sight. So you can go around the corner and like still maintain shooting at them. And even though you don't see the character on your character, as long as it's locked, a smart weapon will find its target, and it's really amazing feeling. Super powerful, like in the fantasy of a Netrunner, someone who can shoot your enemies from behind covers, behind corners.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, so really cool smarter weapons. How about another thing? How about ammo? I know that we have changed something in terms of ammunition for different types of weapons.
Mm-hmm. The main thing in ammunition, or rather one of the things we changed, is from now on SMGs will no longer will use, or rather SMGs will use pistol ammo. It seems like a small thing, but it has.
I played
huge
Nomad my
consequences
first
for the
run
player,
through. I'm definitely going to do
we were
Corpo
able
this
to
time.
introduce this sub tree in the reflexes perk tree that allows you to progress both SMGs and assault rifles. So the fact that SMGs use a different resource from now on than assault rifles, because rifles will use rifle ammo and SMGs will use pistol ammo, allowed us to introduce this type of a playstyle that I am efficient with two types of weapon, but they use different type of resource. So while shooting SMGs, I'm not running out of ammo for assault rifle that I have in my backpack, and I want to switch right away. So in general, this is something that plays along with. Again, with a lot of changes that we did.
I've just checked again. I just restarted again, Sneaky. Right, still nothing on the Xbox.
And with ammo in general, it's way more generous from now on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You have much more ammo.
It might be the last one they ship out. We'll see.
And so it drops more often, but also you have like more capacity.
You can craft it as well.
You could craft it, but you can still craft it. It's cheap and accessible, so there shouldn't be any problem with this. It's a funny thing with the ammo, because it really the
for all the
moment
new
where
people
like
that might hear
that, okay, we need to
blah.
increase the ammo capacity.
For all the new
was when
people
we were
here,
watching a
don't
game,
forget
our
to like,
game director
subscribe, and
playing
hit
the
that
game,
bell icon.
and he was like a huge fan of vehicle
I'll be
combat,
starting
and
my
we were watching him,
stream
basically driving around
as soon as I get the
city
update
and, like,
on the
wrecking
Xbox.
mayhem,
So later on this
with the
afternoon or this
encounters
morning,
and
I guess it's only
police
9
and
o'clock my
whatnot,
time. So
civilians,
next couple of hours
everywhere.
we should be up
It was
streaming.
basically like full auto spraying all the time.
No Baldur's
When it's
Gate
out
3
of
or
ammo,
Starfield streams
okay,
for the
we need to
next
increase
week.
this.
I will be
That sounds
exclusively
like
streaming
Gabe.
Cyberpunk.
It's very gay.
Quoting him, he likes to do that.
Lots of new playlists coming, so check out
so
all
last but
of
not
the
least, I know our community
playlists.
already spotted that in our gameplay materials, but this is something that we've also wondered when we were playing the game. Changes to inhalers, grenades, injectors. What can we say about that?
Quite a lot.
Quite a lot.
It's a
I
big
love
one
it.
because it seems like a small change, but this is actually one of the first things that we did when we were switching to 2.0, because this is the thing that allowed us to basically took a completely different approach to balancing.
There will be
the
live
game.
stream
So
playthroughs
with, players
as well as
having
Let's
free
Play
of the
videos.
inhalers
So
in their backpack,
if you're
some
new
players
here,
having
I would
600 of
suggest
them.
that you go
It
check
was
out my
really
Baldur's Gate
impossible
3
to balance the game
and my Starfield
knowing, like, what is the
videos, because I do a
difficulty,
combination
any
of
given
live stream
encounter, because it was just
playthroughs
so
and
much
Let's Play
different depending on the
videos.
player. And
Quick
second
tips,
of all, we didn't
build
like
guides, beginner's
fact that,
guides, all of
whether
it
you win
happens
the
here.
encounter or not often depends on how quickly you just press the
I'm not a
D-pad,
streamer.
button and
I always
and
tell
kill
people I'm a
yourself.
content
it
creator,
shouldn't be
so
about
I
this.
don't stream 10 hours a
Instead,
day. I
it's
stream
much
about
more
2
about,
hours a
like,
day, sometimes
tactics
3.
and
11 a.m.
thinking, you know,
Central is my
when to
schedule.
use it,
I usually stream for
but
about
also
2
be
hours,
aware
sometimes
of
3.
the limit that you have.
But
And
we
since
do
it's a
around
charge-based system right now,
5
at all times you
videos a
know
day,
how much of
plus
the
1 stream a
inhalers you
day,
have. You don't have to
around all the
remember
various
it, for
different
instance.
games. Plus I
And
do
on top of it,
podcasts around Middle-earth
they
and
become much
Dune.
more
We do
powerful.
film reviews and
So you
TV
won't be
show
needing to, like,
reviews,
a
a bunch of
couple
other stuff.
of whiffs, you know, to top up, and allowed us to invest into it from
it's
the
gonna be awesome, Gary.
cyberware and perks alike. So for people who like enjoy this and like want to have this backup, there's definitely a lot of stuff that you can play with, which even increases like the decision making on like when do I want to use it, because maybe it increases the recharge rate or how much I heal.
Exactly. Plus, maybe I'll repeat myself, but it is really important for us that, you know, the fact that you were able to actually have 600 inhalers in your backpack took away the decision of do I want to heal or not, because the answer was always yes. If I have an infinite amount of them from technical point of view at that point, why not heal? I can heal ahead. I can just, you know, learn to heal every 2 seconds, and this is my playstyle now. This is something that we really wanted to be a conscious decision that, hey, I need to take those 2 guys out, then focus on elite. Probably I'll have to hide out and heal myself.
Maybe that do the reload.
Yes, so like then I will have to wait for first the recharge of my healing item, so I'll be able
That's
to
a good question,
whatever.
Oxthorn. I don't
Stuff
know
like
if those are
this
tied
that
to the
actually
Phantom Liberty
have,
DLC
like,
or not. They
conscious
did
decisions
announce,
during
they
the
did make a
combat
video
were
about it
super
the other
important
day,
for us
talking about the new
throughout all
copyrights.
changes.
Yeah,
Or not a
with
video,
this one,
blog
it's really hard
post
to
on the website
overestimate,
talking about
like,
the copyright
profoundness
stuff.
of this
And
change,
there's a
because
specific
it really allowed us to look
clause
differently,
around
at
the
the
song
balance
by
of the game.
Grimes.
And I really
It's got a
it did so much
2-year
good for the game in general,
license-free component
for the boss
so that you can
fights,
use
for
it on
the- for
YouTube.
those
But
encounters.
after 2 years, it's going to
It was,
become a
we
copyright-protected
were like
song,
the process of like
and
balancing this
it'll
took us like 9 or 10 months.
mean your video is no longer able to draw revenue.
We really were very
Very
invested in
interesting.
this change, and we stand by it.
Plus, we wanted to actually something we mentioned before with AI, but we wanted to.
But I don't know that it mentioned
for different
that being specific
difficulty
to
levels to be actually different.
Phantom Liberty, or if that's a
and this,
2.0 update.
Infinite healing ability was just removing many options from us. But from
in
now
terms
on,
of the new radio
the
stations and
healing
stuff.
in
But it was
general is
a
fully
blog
synergized
post
with
about
perks,
disabling
so you
copyright
can
music,
fine-tune
so you don't
it
get
to
dinged on your
however you want to
streams.
play. Plus grenades, obviously, it's not only about healing, it's also grenades, because it changes up how many grenades you can throw, how fast they will recharge,
every
stuff
throw
like this.
counts.
Well, I guarantee
Every
what
throw
it is
counts.
it's the
Obviously,
licensing
we
related
probably
to
should
Grimes'
mention
publisher.
as with a
And
lot
so
of
they're
things,
saying,
we
we're
also
giving you a
reward
2-year
grenades in general,
right to
stuff
use
from
this
that,
song
you know,
in your
maybe
game
we
and share
touched on
revenue with
exposure,
your streamers, but
ranges
after
and
that,
damage
we're
themsel-
reclaiming
of
our
grenades,
rights,
themselves,
and
but
you can no
even,
longer make money off of it.
we introduced a lot more synergies to different playstyles of using grenades with something else. Like for example, my favorite thing to do is throwing a recon grenade into a group of enemies, switching to my smart rifle, and the locking time, because
It's instant.
not instant, but
it's almost
way
instant.
faster.
Yeah, it's like almost instant.
Yeah,
It's super cool combo, and we have like a lot of things like this thanks to the charges we can every single.
Man, I'm
of those
loving all this
items can
new
be more
combat
powerful.
stuff.
But at the same time, some people really enjoyed like the fact that they could like heal all the time, and still with the proper perks, with the proper cyberware, you can get this feeling where this is always available to you. It's just a choice right now rather than a baseline.
Yes.
All right. Cool. So now let's go quickly over some changes to the UI that I know that a lot of our community will be excited for.
Yeah, I love UI.
First of all, the minimap. We already, a couple of patches ago, we already made it zoom out when you go into the car or onto the motorbike,
baby.
but now we're adding even more changes, right?
Yes. So with minimap, the main thing we focused on is making it way more clear, decluttering it, making it consistent throughout the whole any situation, be it combat or outside of combat. One of the things you'll notice right away is the cones on minimap. From now on, the moment you see a cone, it only means the fact that this enemy will react to you in some negative way, be it starting combat right when it spots you, or just reprimanding you. But the cone always means that this enemy will react to me somehow, or even we really focus on the police system and how cones actually mean that if I hide in this corner there, how the vision of the police will be there. Like, will they notice me? Will they not?
It's very clear right now. Also, red dots, for instance, red dot means this NPC character knows about you. They will be looking for you. They consider to be in combat with you, and it's consistent. Like whether you're in an encounter, in a quest, or in open world activity with prevention system and whatnot.
Okay, but on top of that, we also have that it zooms out gradually.
Yeah, dynamically. So basically the minimap zoom out is dynamic and it adjusts to your speed of your car. Also,
that's cool.
When the prevention system is active, the zoom out is also different to show you like where the police is coming from. This is a very important change.
That music.
To have a much deeper and more engaging
look at the look of this.
Look in there.
I can't wait.
And big kudos to our programmers, because this was not an easy change for us to do. We basically had to rewrite the whole streaming system for the minimap. We didn't even know whether it's possible, but we just knew that it's super
Get out of the way for
and we went for it, and it's great. It works like a charm. So big kudos to the programming team.
Super cool that we're
So that's a really
changing
cool
it. I know
new
that our
minimap
community
feature,
will be thankful for that for
For
sure.
sure.
And another thing that they're gonna appreciate for sure, because I know I appreciate that, is the change to phone UI.
From now on, we wanted basically player to be more in these shoes rather than opening the big overlay on the screen every time they want to access their weapon. So from now on, you have an option to see the phone in the HUD in the game instead of opening the whole overlay of
that's
the whole
cool.
screen.
Yeah, and I
That's
think
just
there are,
quality
like,
of
different
life.
tabs that
Yeah.
unread is being shown at the very top. So it has a better feeling of an actual phone right now, in my
it's
opinion.
much more intuitive, and the flow is
Yeah.
just definitely much better. And it's nicer to look at as well.
Yeah, for sure. So that's also something that I know a lot of people were waiting for the new phone UI.
Yeah, you use it quite a lot in our game.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes.
Messages from Pana.
But we've been talking also a lot about Cyberware, but the entire UI screen of Cyberware, both in the journal that you call, or also at the reproduct, that also changes. Can you talk about it, about different elements of that?
Yeah, sure. So basically the whole panel is new. The loadout is still there, but where the categories are, the paper doll in the middle is completely new. It's beautiful. Like when you zoom out on the specific categories, you see the cyberware that's being installed. It looks sick. It's really something to gaze upon. On top of it, you'll see that on the left-hand side you have the cyberware capacity, which tells you basically where you are in terms of this resource. Each tooltip for the cyberware has also been changed. You'll be able to see dynamically when you install or when I swap out certain cyberware how much more capacity or less capacity it's gonna cost, because it's important, because sometimes you'll find yourself where you wanna uninstall like 3 or 4 cyberwares just to get this one particular one. And same goes for armor. So whenever you're installing cyberware with armor on it, you'll see where you will end up being. And you will also have information like what's the general defensiveness going to be.
Plus, we worked a lot on how the perk tree looks like in terms of UI, because it may sound like a small thing, but for us it's a huge topic of how logical the sub branches of the tree are. What are from now on you actually, when you spec into something, it will be reflected in the tree. I have this left branch of reflexes. It means something actually for you, for your character, for your playstyle.
With the perks, it's also important because you can plan your character much easier.
Nice.
From the get-go, you know where this is leading to. And you can get excited about this stuff or this stuff. You know that I care about this up to this point, and then I want to invest somewhere else actually. And as those like trees grow, it's really a cool thing. Seeing what's highlighted, what's not highlighted, and like just the shape of the tree tells you so much about who you are in this world. And it's a magnificent, amazing world by our.
I still don't see
I
anything on
think
the
speaking
Xbox, by
about
the way,
perk
everybody. I'm
trees,
still checking.
We can remind people that they can reset their attributes once.
Yes.
And
Technically, we can log into the game real
and they
quick,
can do it
too.
one by one, right?
Check
Yes,
that.
but important thing to mention, you can only reset attributes once.
Yes.
Even if you didn't have save before, we allow it for it to happen only once, and that maybe let's quickly talk about why we did this. From our perspective, as you probably heard today quite a few times, we wanted the decisions about your character, who you are in the game, your play style, to actually matter, and this has to be a conscious decision. So from our perspective, if you spec into specific attributes like body or whatever, it builds your character's identity.
Usually these type of
And we
delays
didn't
are
want,
whatever is the
for our
platform,
players
so
to
there's
be
probably an
able to
issue with
change it
Xbox, or it
because
took a
they
little while to
earn some
upload,
edits,
or who
they
knows.
can change who they are. It doesn't really work,
We'll
work
see.
like this. You can do it once, but basically
I haven't checked
the
their Twitter to
attributes,
see if there's any
are
issues.
something that really connects with the player with,
I'm gonna go
with the
look real
character.
quick.
So we wanted for it to be super conscious and important. But that being said, the perk themselves can be refunded at any point.
And you can do this one by one, which is a very cool change.
Yes.
We actually had this, for
It
debug
says
purposes.
it's being,
for
okay,
ourselves,
as of 17
and we
minutes
just liked
ago,
it
it
so much
says
that we
it's
decided
currently
to
being
give it
rolled
to
out
players, because why
on
not?
PC,
You don't
PS5,
need
and
to do the
Xbox
whole
Series X
revamp
and S.
to basically
So
end up
it's
with the
still,
same build,
it's
except a couple of
technically
ones.
still being
You can,
rolled out.
try it out. If you don't like it, check something else, and the flow is superb.
Yep.
Yeah, awesome. And also a little reminder that we have this build planner.
I'm
our
thinking that's the
online
case, Sneaky
build
Snake.
planner. So if you are afraid to commit
Sometime
to
between 4 and
some
5,
build in
it'll
game,
happen.
you can check it out on the website, build something for your character, and see if maybe it will work with the points, with the perks, etc.
I don't got anything else to do, so
feel
I'm
free
just
to
gonna
check out the build planner.
For sure.
be
But
tweaking
also
things and prepping all my
journal.
thumbnails
There
and
is
getting
a
everything ready
big
for the
change.
streams.
I love it.
Yeah, with journal, I love the fact that from now on, you obviously that one of the things that I really anticipated, you can untracked quests. Yes.
Finally, you don't have to be reminded about going to Hanako every second.
But there's a lot more to it. In general, we work the visuals of it, but
It's much nicer.
it's much nicer, way
Yeah.
Much more cleaner.
Yeah.
It looks better,
But
yeah.
there's some fun stuff to discover there. For example, when you look into a quest description, there are some contextual actions you can take. For example, read the text message that is
Connected
connected
to the
this.
phone. Yeah.
Yeah, some shards maybe that are there. Even the filtering of quests by distance or the time of update.
It's much more useful.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, distance is nice, so I know where
Yeah.
should I go first.
Yeah,
basically.
I agree.
If you want to optimize it by distance, absolutely.
Yeah, okay. So pretty much that would be it when it comes to all the changes that we wanted to talk. But we have one more surprise for our community, which is the new mini game called Trauma Drama. So make sure that you find the right machine and you just check it out and see how it goes and see you on the leaderboard score.
I mean, you
Trauma,
guys watch
trauma,
out because
trauma,
this is
drama.
addicting.
Oh, yeah. And it's a bit more difficult than the Roach one,
Yeah, a
at
little
least for
bit.
me. But yeah, it's very, very
More
cool.
complex a little
Yeah.
bit.
I love the naming because we actually one
like
of
a
our
Contra
gameplay teams
game.
is called the Trauma Team.
And there's a lot of drama. Total coincidence, though.
Yeah, we did not suggest it.
It's totally
Okay,
like
so we can now
Contra.
move to the Q&A session. Those will be questions from our community that they dropped them on our forums and Discord. So without further ado, let's go. So the first question, about designing the gameplay of our character by the skills and perks, will we be able to reach more
That's so
diverse
cool.
gameplay?
Oh wow, this is a big one. Before we decided that we want to do the whole perk rework, one of the first things, we didn't have like a single perk at that point yet. We knew that we wanted to at the end achieve at least one thing, that with the perks there won't be like one go-to or two or three go-to builds. Like we recently released the new Night City Wire, we present three builds. Those are just 3 out of many builds.
Yeah, those were like
we
example
wanted,
builds.
all the trees to be able to combine with each other, to find some kind of synergies between them. And I remember it was one of the most rewarding maybe times when around like 2 or 3 months ago we were before like locking things down, checking whether it's still there, and I was worried that we didn't get it for like the body and hull combination, that it's not working, and maybe we can switch it up somehow. And it turned out that it's actually one of the most powerful builds that we have in the game. I just didn't see the connection, myself, but a couple of gameplay designers, told me that, it's extremely powerful. I won't be saying like what it is, no not to, this should be like the discovery for the player. But yeah, versatility is definitely there. You can go like all in into a particular tree, it's gonna be great. You can do like a combination of 2 or 3, it's gonna be great. Or you can even be like a jack of all trades.
It's not out yet on the series. It's not out on the Xbox yet. It's already been released on the PlayStation 5, Steam, and GOG is updating currently. Maybe done updating on GOG. We're still waiting on the Xbox.
Versatile character. I think that even
I just checked like 90 seconds ago. It's still not updated yet on the Xbox.
It's not the big milestone, but there's this one secondary perk that allows you to get a +4 capacity points for each attribute above level 9.
Yeah.
And this is such a build enabler. So there are a lot of things where player can find themselves in those.
Plus with verbs that player can use alone, you can throw bodies, deflect bullets, hack cars, there's stamina.
Dashes.
Yeah, there's
and there are dashes.
Yes.
It's that's also the thing that the builds are much more distinctive. They're much farther apart from each other, and you have a completely different playstyle depending on what you pick and how much you invest into it.
Okay, so the next question is connected to perks actually. Do we have to start a new game for the new perks, or will they be available to existing level 50 maxed out players?
They're all available to everybody.
You'll have to reassign the points because basically the moment you install 2.0, you'll have to go to
Trent just confirmed that the GOG update is live now.
Amount of attribute and
so it went live first for PS5 and Steam, and now it's out on GOG. So sometime probably within the next,
Yeah, guys, if you
little
start
bit.
the game, you have to spend like I don't know, an hour, 2 hours just creating
just
your
like
build.
character customization all over again. Like,
Yes.
but from gameplay perspective.
But with this question, I'd really like to also encourage people trying out the game from the get-go, because the leveling curve is totally different, and not only the speed at which you gain levels is different, but even much more importantly, how quickly you get access to those build-defining abilities, verbs, is also much shorter. So it's not like you'll have to wait long for getting the cool stuff.
I'm gonna check
Absolutely
the Twitter real quick.
And you'll constantly have something cool to look at, to strive. Like, it's going to be either the cyberware that you care about, or the perks, or the combination of the two. And it's just
one of these days I'm going to sort out why Streamlabs blacks out the screen that I'm tabbed away from.
I really encourage you to play the game fresh. It's going to be a different game for you because you'll be someone different, maybe more defined in the story as you're playing this. But obviously, I know that we have those players who
everybody's saying on Twitter that the Xbox One hasn't gone live yet.
Absolutely, we support.
It's probably the last one they're doing, so just I'd say be patient
and having fun already at like the maximum level.
Okay. Will the Relic perk skills cause any negative side effects to the player?
Simple answer is no. There are no perks in the Relic tree that would have any negative effect. In general, with our perks and verbs, we tried not to introduce any penalty. We decided not to introduce any penalties for the player. There are small exceptions to this rule. For example, the Netrunner perk that will make you introduce that decision. It can reduce your health if you decide to go into it, or the overclock mechanic that will use your health once you run out of RAM. But as you probably see, all of those situations are a conscious decision by player. There are no situations in which something will happen to you passively. They are always led.
You still have to make decisions though, because there's only so many levels, so you're only ever going to get so many points.
Phantom Liberty exclusive, so not yet there, but yes.
Okay, but connected to Relic perk tree, we actually have a question whether the perks from Relic tree will be usable outside Dogtown.
Yes. So
this is good.
Those are yours.
Those are yours. You have to be able to access Dogtown to use Relic tree, perk tree because of Phantom Liberty, but once you have it, you can use it.
Once you have it, you can use it anywhere.
In order to level up, your Relic skill tree, you need to have access to those like data points in the in Dogtown, and this is slightly different mechanic.
Yeah, it's
or
a
maybe,
story-based mechanic.
It's just a different dynamic.
So it's
to how
tied to
you
the
level
story
up.
of the
And,
DLC a little bit.
We really encourage people to explore the environment, find those spots. They're a little bit hidden, but at the same time they are luring you in a way. I don't want to spoil anything. In order to progress, you need to be in Dogtown, but you can use them whenever you want.
But
whatever you
luckily,
want.
after my last playthrough, I noticed that I actually missed some of those, and after you already discover them and miss it, just like I did, they are on minimap. They are visible on minimap,
okay,
so
that's
you can come back to them.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about it.
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, so the next question. Will we be able to use those new melee finishers while sneaking up on an enemy?
Oh, so this one is a little bit tricky to answer because, first of all, those finishers work only if the enemy is already on low health. So technically, there are some situations in which you can probably damage enemies to low health, run away, wait for them to despot you, and try to use, for example, some stealth abilities like optical camo, go in and try to perform a finisher.
Reset the fight and go in again. But probably it's not like the most efficient way to
yeah,
play the game.
probably not.
Yeah, not worth it. Plus, on higher difficulties, they will just heal.
Yeah.
But there are more better ways to do it. Like for example, the ninjutsu perk, which allows you to crouch sprint to an enemy, grab him, and finish him like this. Plus, with finisher, I think we didn't mention is. You are now able to use those finishes on throwable knives plus
Those are the
monowire.
best.
Yeah, and throwing knives, we kind of skipped it in this discussion, but really
Due to lack of time, but check it out.
check it out. They have their own sub tree in the perk tree.
Throwing
We know you love them.
knives.
We love them a lot.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
they are
one
really
of my favorites
Yeah.
for sure.
We will see probably a lot of videos now.
hopefully.
For sure.
That's a
They're
very cool deal.
Yeah.
They are very graphic.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, so now we're moving on to vehicle combat. That's the
This is
choice
a
of
big
vehicle
stream today,
matters.
guys.
Like,
I'm loving it.
is it okay if I go into vehicle combat with my Mai, or should I pick something bigger?
Definitely. Like this couldn't be. Actually, it's like super realistic because it's all physics based. If you have a car which is like sturdy with small windows, you will be. It's going to be very difficult for the enemies to shoot you. If you're driving in a small car, like the opposite. If the door pops off, suddenly you become more vulnerable, but not in general, but only if the enemies are from that side. So this is very natural. I love this actually, even though I have to at first I was against it, but then I played it and it's the best.
Exactly.
So you have those little decisions. How do I position myself against
Airdrop.
enemies using this?
I can't
And,
wait to get into the
there's just so
airdrop
much to
system,
it.
guys. The
Like
idea of rare
the
weapons and
weaponized,
stuff is pretty
guns,
awesome.
whether you pick a car with Gatling guns or rocket launchers, it's a completely different story.
Plus, cars in general have different health pools, so bigger, tougher vehicles have more health than sports car, let's say.
Bigger tires, smaller tires.
Yeah, and even how they react to collisions, stuff like this. So there's a lot to it. By the way, car combat and those topics, huge kudos to
Vancouver team, yeah.
Vancouver, like North America plus Europe work together on those changes. So big kudos because those are really this is a different game in terms of cars and how they
handling of cars is completely different.
Yeah.
I think every single car was touched.
One thing I'll quickly mention here is that it also matters what type of vehicle your enemies use in terms of AI,
yes.
because they could have some exposed tires, for example. You shoot them and the tires explode, they start panicking. It's
Three
all
tries, missed the
new updates,
headshot.
fun.
You can destroy the fuel ports. And
Don't
then,
use
each
sniper
car has their
rifles up
own,
close,
fuel
dude.
port, which is in different place, so you need to learn where they are. But if you do and you are able to actually shoot it, there's a big payoff.
So a lot to what you like.
So much
a lot,
strategy
yeah.
goes into
Yeah.
Yeah,
that
that like
combat.
you need to know like which card the police is bringing, because you know when they'll be like trying to crash into you, it's gonna be a different thing when they come in like the Hala, or whether they come in
Yeah,
some
or
kind of
or
SUV,
Call of
or
Duty.
maybe even
Yeah,
the
Oxhorn, for sure.
heavily armored combat vehicle. I don't even remember what it's called, but it's
sure, but
huge, and
yeah.
you know you don't want to smash into this thing.
Okay. Is the vehicle combat reserved for specific cars only? And what about motorcycles?
It's not reserved for specific cars, and you can use it on motorcycles. But on motorcycles, there's way more to it because we added a melee combat to motorcycles, which
Melee combat
so
on motorcycles.
awesome. It's you can role play as this samurai on a motor that you just drive to an enemy, slice them up. Damage of the katana, for example, scales with speed, which is like if you actually want to just drive by and slice someone, it's totally.
It's not easy, but it's super fun.
It's not easy but fun, and also a lot of melee verbs work on motorcycle combat with melee. For example, you can deflect bullets, you can block upcoming shots. Also in car combat in general, you can use Sandevistan, for example, in cars, stuff like this. So yeah, it's melee combat on motorcycles. Check it out.
Yeah, and you can use.
I
either
used
pistols or
motorcycles
SMGs,
nearly
which is the new
exclusively in my
addition,
first
which is very cool for those like drive-bys and like just shooting down some goons. And a couple of cars just have built-in guns.
That's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, for sure it's
Okay,
gonna be
so
awesome.
I have the next question. Can you just play expansion quest without playing through the main quest line like in The Witcher?
They talked about this morning.
Yes.
Like standalone expansion.
Yes,
Okay.
we leave with this choice. It's similar to Witcher. You can either play from base game fully to Phantom Liberty expansion, or if you decide to, you can play right away from Phantom Liberty. We just simulate the base game for you, the choices that lead to the Act 2 in Pacifica, after you meet with Placide, after you meet with Brigitte and Alt, then Phantom Liberty expansion starts.
Yeah, and you start at level 15. You will have a quite versatile all-around build. So it's nothing like very specific. It should like fit everybody, but it's definitely playable. You don't have to like respec the perks immediately. You can play around, see what works for you, what doesn't. Even invest from this build farther down the line, or just switch it up to whatever you want at any point.
All right. So the next question. In the new trailer, some of the guns say illegal on top of them. What does it mean?
They are not legal. That's
Dang.
Why?
Next question. No, but
Next question.
So illegal weapons are basically weapons like from regular manufacturers that were modified in Dogtown in this gray area. So you don't really know what's in there. They are more dangerous. They are more like extreme versions of the normal guns. So they have like bigger payoffs, but also like bigger disadvantages. Whether it is about like handling or the reload or the effective range, all of those things can change. But the guns are like even more prominent when it comes to their own style and character. The cool part about it is that you have like plenty of options in your character progression to mitigate a lot of those downsides, effectively, reducing the negative side while still maintaining all the positive sides.
yeah, you can buy them on black market, plus in Dogtown, and Bargus uses them
So
as
they're
well.
Phantom Liberty specific.
Yes.
Yes.
Bargus uses them as well. They are quite mean people, and they would use illegal weapons definitely.
All right, so the last question for you guys, and it's like more of a personal question. Do you have any fun moments to share from the development on Phantom Liberty, something that made you laugh?
Oh.
I love these surprise
Making games
questions.
in general is fun, so
Oh, yeah.
it's hard. But I think I have one. It happened some time ago already, and maybe I will not go into like the technical specifics of it, but there was a moment.
I'm restarting my
as
Xbox
well.
again.
There was a moment in which
Still checking.
we basically had to make sure that appearances in our engine work properly. And the way we approached it is that we decided that the fastest way to make sure that those are right is to change the ones that aren't, so we see it clearly. And we decided, I'm not sure if it was a conscious decision or it happened by chance, but the way it happened is that those improper appearances got switched to be a chicken. So for like a week, we were able to drive chickens. We were shooting from chickens sometimes.
And there were a lot of chickens on the street.
Yeah, yes. There was one specific scene that I saw.
Still
with
nothing on the
oats
Xbox,
that had
everybody.
a chicken in it that
So
I
we'll
will
know.
probably remember for the rest of my life, and it scarred me. But yeah, happily, obviously, this was only development.
Was old chicken?
No,
Oh,
unfortunately not. And I would prefer for all to be a chicken in this particular scene, but unfortunately she wasn't. And obviously it was only for development, and it lasted for like a week.
For me, it's going to be a boring answer because I don't recall anything like this, like a specific situation, because it was like work a lot. Like this was really intense time. Maybe the most fun I remember is after all of those risks that we took, because it was basically like an all-in situation. I don't think we could have gone like more extreme into the amount of changes we did. So seeing this all come together and like actually playing it and getting the feeling that we were aiming for, this was the definitely like the
Yeah, it's when
rewarding
you
and fun
fulfill
part.
your creative
And just
vision,
playing the
and
game,
you as the
once it
creator
was already
can go,
in shape.
this feels good.
Oh, sorry, but
That is a great
maybe
moment
not so
as a
fun,
creator.
but genuine answer,
I
definitely.
mean, making games is fun.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's amazing
Xbox
part.
Yeah.
people are on
Thank
lunch
you guys.
break.
So
It
this
could
is
be.
all of the questions that we had for you today, and all of the topics that we've already talked about. So let's sum up. We have airdrops in Phantom Liberty. We have Combat AI, which is reworked, and it's super cool. We have Netrunners. We have elites when it comes to new NPCs. The stealth loop has been reworked. The net running is amazing now. Of course, it's been cool before. Then we have changes to the economy and to the balance, so you won't be dropping and picking up a lot of loot. Euro dollars now have more meaning. We have tiers instead of rarity for our items. What else?
UI changes, a
UI
lot of UI
changes, yeah.
changes.
Vehicle combat,
Vehicle
driving,
combat, yeah.
police. Yeah.
Yes.
There's a lot.
So that's a lot, and I hope you guys will be able to check it out. So right now you probably are either downloading update 2.0 or already playing. So if you are playing, hope you enjoy it. If you haven't downloaded it yet and you're playing on PC, it would be good if you uninstalled your mods, because they can,
Not that I'm
work
aware
well
of,
with
I
the
just
new
checked.
update, and wait a few days or weeks until the modding community can upgrade them. And yeah, hope you enjoy it. In a few days, on September 26th, you will be able to play Phantom Liberty on PC, Xbox, Series S and X, and PlayStation 5.
Nice.
And if you are curious about the sizes of the update, Amelia, could you share those?
Yes, of course. So for PlayStation 5, we're looking into 33 gigabytes. For Xbox, 38 roughly, and for PC, 24.
Thank you so much.
And yeah, so as you guys probably remember last time, we teased the surprise for the content creators, which was Support a Streamer program, but now we actually have something for you. So be on lookout for Twitch drops that will be starting once Phantom Liberty is out. The website with all the details will be also revealed very soon, so just stay tuned for the details and jump on Twitch to actually get those items, because these are really cool. I almost swear there.
Yeah.
I already used the swearing ticket, I think.
Yes,
The
one
once
per stream.
Yes.
For stream, yeah.
Sorry.
It's all right.
It fits.
It fits, yes. Do you guys have any last words to our community before we wrap up?
I guess thank you. Some of our
Thank you.
changes, maybe not, rather we know what type of things you really love, and we put a lot of emphasis of making those a little bit more awesome. But in general, we see your support, and it means a lot to us.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks.
All right. Well, thank you guys for being here with us today, and I hope to see you guys next time. And yeah, let's go play 2.0.
Yeah, let's go play 2.0,
Play it,
everybody.
the game.
Play it.
Play.
Thank you,
definitely.
guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
All right, so they're winding down. I also am going to wind down here, everybody. Here's the plan. As soon as it becomes available on the Xbox, I will patch it, update it, and get a stream going. So hopefully within the next couple of hours, you'll see me live. If you want to know how to tell when I'm live, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. Join the Discord because we do everyone announcements in Discord to let everyone know when we're live. And of course, we're going to be adding to the playlists now because we've been doing a lot of Baldur's Gate 3 and Starfield the last few months. Now we're getting into Cyberpunk 2077 and adding that into the mix. So the idea is I'm doing a brand new playthrough with a Netrunner stealth build. First time I've played it since it came out on the PlayStation 4 Slim when I played it the first time 3 years ago. It's going to be a completely different experience on my Series X. I can't wait. Streams happen daily at 11 a.m. Central Time every single day, as often as I can be live, which is pretty much every single day. Occasionally I have to do stuff, but this is going to be a playthrough series and an offline Let's Play series. We do lots of build guides, beginner's guides, and everything else, so stay tuned to all the different guides that are going to be coming out and videos that are coming out around Cyberpunk 2077. Check out the build guides and all the other stuff we do for Baldur's Gate 3, Starfield, all the other games we play, the TV show reviews, the film reviews, the podcast around Middle-earth and Dune, and everything else we do. Also the homesteading channel for those of you who are interested in that kind of stuff, chickens and cats and gardening. And I'll see y'all in a couple hours as soon as things go live and I get the Xbox updated. Peace out, everybody.